Voyage today takes us not just across the lush environment of Kerala, but also through the fascinating fabric of a life woven with perseverance, leadership, and intelligence. He has traversed the winding paths of diplomacy and the halls of power, and he has come out with a tale that is compelling enough to be heard. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a man who has seen the world from the vantage point of the highest excellence, yet remains rooted in the soil of his beloved Kerala. Sir, your career defies convention, from the stoic ranks of the IAS to the vibrant tapestry of the United Nations. You worn many hats, each leaving an indelible mark. Is there a thread that binds these seemingly desperate chapters together?
Firstly, the honor is entirely mine.
Okay.
To be invited by Star Media for a chat like this is absolutely an honor.
Okay.
I feel humbled. Thank you, Star Media. Thank you, Elvis, for having me here this evening, but I don't know when it's going to be telecast.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that. Secondly, I don't think the IAS is a very stoic network. There are stoic people in it as elsewhere. And it's been an honor for me, I think, joining the IAS. And earlier the Indian Police Service. For 1 year, I was in the Indian Police Service. Then I left that because I'm not really cut out to be a policeman. So I wrote again, and this time made it to the IAS. Okay. I was the top ranker from Kerala in my batch, and the youngest. Okay. So it was a learning experience. Mm-hmm. You realized how a system functions, a government functions, and so on. So, and then of course I moved to the. So my career actually started on the State Bank of India as a probationary officer. So it was banking first, police next, administration, and administration can mean many different aspects of administration. From being the mayor of Cochin to the district collector of Cochin when the Pope came in 1985, to being sub-collector Trichur, handling 3 purams without any serious incidents, not because of me, but by the grace of God. The grace of Parvashiva, I was doing. It was then it was then I worked as a labor commissioner for perhaps the longest time ever for anybody, certainly in Kerala. In one of the times when the trade unions were perhaps holding the entire state to ransom, they were very powerful. Okay. So at that time, managing the trade unions and relationship between employers and employees was not an easy thing. And then perhaps that gave me the sort of sense of the ability to negotiate your way through to reach a good settlement, which would be a win-win for everybody. Perhaps that led me to the UN. Though of course, it is not perhaps it is the many years as a Labour Commissioner Kerala that led me to the UN in the International Labour Organization. The International Labour Organization the UN is a very diplomatic ecosystem. Diplomacy rules there because you have so many countries which is part of it, and it's very important to ensure that all countries stay together. Okay. The common thread, I suppose, in all this you asked me, is perhaps I think involvement with people's issues, whether it is banking, and the State Bank of India was a very, very down-to-earth bank then, and now it went forward to rural areas. Profit was certainly a motive, but social banking, helping people was the motto. Then the police, where also to a large extent you interact with people, and then the administrative service. So the common thread would be, I think, being able to work within society, understanding the problems of individuals in society, because the problems of individuals in society are really the problems of the society itself, and trying to find solutions for them that is acceptable to everybody, to negotiating and ending disputes. And then of course the UN, which is a multilateral organization. And so perhaps the thread in all this, and even in the UN, I was working largely on areas of child labor, in children's education, skills development for youth, income generation, self-help groups, etc., where the social thread runs through. And therefore then, if I may not answer a question which you have not asked, therefore then the move to politics was a very easy step.
I see. Okay, so it was understandable for you all the.
It was, I would say, a very logical step, especially considering that my father-in-law was Mr. K.M. Mani, and I saw him. Saw that for the first time. I saw that if you're in political power, you can do much more for individuals in society and for people solve their problems than even a bureaucrat or somebody in the IAS can.
Okay.
I realized that there's such tremendous power in a democratic system that a politician wields that he can help hundreds of thousands of people. And therefore, then it was better natural step into politics.
Okay, fantastic. Can you provide a brief overview of the plot and main themes explored in My Driver, Tulong and Other Tall Tales from a Post-Pol Pot, Contemporary Cambodia?
That was my first complete book. It is a travelogue.
Okay.
I spent 7 years in Cambodia as part of my work in the UN. Cambodia is very similar to Kerala in many ways.
I see.
It is like a slice of Kerala out there in Southeast Asia. They have these snake boat races. They eat rice. They eat rice in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening.
Like Kerala.
Like Kerala.
Awesome.
And you won't even believe this, that breakfast is rice. Of course, now it's shifting to noodles and things, but traditionally it is rice gruel. Do you know what they call it? They call it kami.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Fact, yeah.
And then another unbelievable thing for me with Cambodia was that you won't believe, I haven't traveled most of the states in India except a few in the Northeast. Nowhere in India have I come across the months of the year which is similar to Kerala. In Kerala, we have Chingam Kanni, Tulam, Rishikam, Teru.
Yeah.
Now, I had to go all the way to Cambodia. I've traveled to 98 countries. Nowhere else I have come across the same months as we have here. But in Cambodia, you have exactly similar months.
Okay.
Because they pronounce it slightly differently. Chingna is December is Makara, Kumbha, Nisa, Vrichiga, Knu, Danu is Danu. So it's a slice of Kerala out there, and boat races, snake boat races, much more orderly than in Halapi. But it's done with precision. The king comes and sits. So there was a lot of Kerala there. And for me, it was like visiting a country which was there somewhere at the back of my mind, which I might have lived in some previous birth. If you believe in that sort of thing. Yes. It is like visiting a country where I must have lived. And people are beautiful. They're very nice, very gentle. They keep smiling all the time. Sure. After, as you said, the stoicism of the IAS, where we refused to laugh. Okay. It was in Cambodia that I learned to laugh by smiling. Beautiful country. So I thought I was right. Nobody knows about Cambodia, or they didn't know. Then if I thought I should introduce Cambodia to the world and to India, and especially to Kerala. That's the book, My Driver to Now, and Other Tall Tales from a Post-Pol Pot Contemporary Cambodia. Post-Pol Pot because Pol Pot was a dictator. He was an extreme communist who took over the reins of power and then started systematic killing of people. About 1/4 to 1/3 of the population was killed off or died. It had a very small population, about 8 million or 9 million. By the time this rule ended 4 years later, it had come down to some 5 million or so. It was ruthless, extreme form of communism that you can't believe can exist. He made everybody, the capital city is Phnom Penh. He made everybody evacuate, leave Phnom Penh within a week's time. Old people, young people, pregnant, just like. And those days there was no transportation, so they had to walk. Many died on the way. They were all asked to go to the countryside and grow rice. It was a very, so Cambodia had this tragic history, but they were a very happy, innocent people. I think tragedy falls upon innocent people. So I thought I must write about it and to introduce it to the world, to Kerala, to India. That's exactly what the book has tried to do. Because there are about 8 or 10 characters through food, and I've tried to explain Cambodia to the world. And the prime character is my driver, Tulong, who was with me for 4 or 5 years. And I couldn't say whether he was part of the killers or the part of the victims. Okay. You can never see that.
Understood. I mean, so it's like you're in a fix here.
I don't know whether he was part of Pol Pot or he was a victim of Pol.
Okay.
So he seemed to me to epitomize what Cambodia was all about. And that's why I wrote the book.
So where can we get this book from?
You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Flipkart. You must read it.
Awesome.
I wish I'd brought a copy along. I could have showed it. It's available on Amazon.
I see. Okay. That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So tell us about your book. Trikaripur Chora Puranda Kadagal Parayumbol offers a stark portrayal of political realities in North Malabar. What compelled you to share this narrative, And how do you hope it will spark a broader conversation about democratic values in Kerala's political landscape?
I joined politics in 2016.
Yes.
Inspired by what a good politician could do, which to me was Mr. K. M. Mani and many others.
Okay.
So once I joined it, then I stood for elections. To be honest, I tried for a seat in the assembly in 2016, a seat in the parliament in 2019, and finally I got a seat in the 2021 assembly elections.
Okay.
I got a seat, the Trikkaripur assembly seat, which is in Kasaragod district, which is the northernmost district. When I went there, I had no clue what it was going to be like. But I had very little time to canvass. The elections were now April 4th.
Okay.
I reached there on March 16th. So I had just about, about 18 days. But those 18 days at the elections were an eye-opener for me. It's as though, those parts of Kerala are like China. It is the stranglehold of the Marxist Party is so strong. They have these party villages. Party Gramam is what they call it, party villages, where they decide what the constitution should be. They decide what the law should be.
Okay.
They decide what how the law should be implemented. They are the judge. They are the prosecutor. They decide on the punishments, and they then punish people. It's like a Chinese conclave within the territory of it. The Indian constitution doesn't run there. The Indian writ of law doesn't run there. They decide everything. They decide who is to do what work, who will go where. They decide on who will marry whom. To the extent they will even decide when they should have children, when they should cohabit. You won't believe it. See, somebody in Central Kerala and South Kerala sees the good side, or the better side, I won't even say good side, of Marxism. In Kasaragod, Kannur, you see what it's a shade of Pol Pot, which I just saw in Cambodia, where he killed off so many people. It's not reached that stage yet because they don't have complete control. But I saw this ugly, violent face of communism, Marxism, where nobody else can enter that village, for example, without their say-so. In all the polling booths in those villages, 41 of them, no one from the UDF is allowed to sit as a polling agent of that candidate. Only they can sit. Even if you go and sit, they'll give you a coffee in the morning and say, okay, now you had your coffee, you go home. If you don't go home, they start irritating you, they start scratching you. And then say, why did you go home? If you don't go home, they poke you from outside with a stick. Somebody comes in.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, exactly. That is why I thought people should go.
Yeah.
And then even if after that you don't go, what they do is they've got this powder, which when they throw on upon you, your face goes red, you start itching all over.
That is terrible.
Absolutely. So once at about 2 o'clock, I was in one of my booths and I saw a polling agent of mine, very fair, throughout all his shirt and things, all red, running to the bathroom to pour water. And even if then you don't go, they beat you up. And if you dare to sit there afterwards, then they attack your homes. They attack, shout abuses at you. And there have been killings of people who have died. One of the Congress agents about 15, 20 years ago dared to sit in spite of all this harassment. 3 days later, he was killed. After that, there's a tremendous fear complex.
So no one has a question about it.
Yeah. The public prosecution system is scared. Every system is scared. The entire machinery of
so it's like a group of people.
Yes, because nobody did. See, if I'm sitting going there and I'm in a post, and if I don't listen to them, then my children will get abused, they get beaten up, I will get beaten up. So nobody dares.
No one can question them.
Absolutely. And that unfortunately might happen all over Kerala, is what I fear. And I thought somebody should write about it.
Exactly.
And who best to write about it than somebody who's been all through this. That is why even the title is very strong. Trikkaripur Chora Puranda Kadakal Parayam.
Exactly.
When Trikkaripur tells tales of bloodstain and violence, where IAS and the election selfie of an IAS officer. It's, I think you should read it. I think everybody should.
Everybody is.
Those who know Malayalam, I wish I'll translate it to English shortly. I don't have the time. It's a book that explains what the reality of the situation in Kadanor and Kasaragod is.
It's an eye opener for everyone to understand. Yeah,
absolutely.
seriously.
It is bad.
I'm not sure whether everyone will be aware of such situations
Nobody
happening in
will be
Kerala.
aware. Even I was not aware until I experienced. And then after the close of elections that day, about 300 of them surrounded my car, attacked my car. It's a big stone was thrown.
Imagine a person like you itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If they can do it to me, I'm
To
not
me,
saying I'm
exactly. Obviously,
with all my
political,
connections
yeah.
and things, if they can do it to me, they can.
So
do
a
it.
layman's
Imagine
world is
an
gonna be
ordinary
terrible.
prosecutor or judge or
Yes,
somebody sitting
yes,
there. He'll be intimidated.
Exactly. On entering the political arena, you transition from chronicling political dynamics to shaping them. How would you describe the shift from observer to participant, and what does this transition tell us about your motivations for public service?
Ultimately, who is this? Philosophers, somebody said, I think it was Socrates, I don't know.
So, yeah.
He said philosophers only interpreted the world.
Yes,
It
that's
is-
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's what you need is to change it.
Mhm.
So from an observer, I have become, as you said, somebody who would like to see changes brought about. I don't think any one person by himself can change unless you are a Mahatma Gandhi. or
Exactly.
somebody else.
Someone's.
But then we all contribute in our little ways to change. It may not be perceptible,
Okay.
but then over time, it's like little drops of water making a mighty ocean. These little drops of water, which each of us use,
Exactly.
everybody
Yes.
has
Contributes.
changes for the good. Unfortunately, it also can contribute for changing for the bad if the intentions are not good.
Mhm.
So I realized soon that from being an observer and let's say a philosopher who tries to explain things or interpret things, there is need to change things.
Exactly.
And that's where I think I took the step of
There's a
joining
bold
that.
step here. Very fantastically done. Yeah. Back to that question which we had, the previous one. I was thinking, weren't there anyone to go and train them or make them understand what life is about? You know, in this Chora Purunda Kadagal Parayumbol, like, did the government take an initiative to make them understand what they're doing is wrong and correct them from that? You know.
Unfortunately, the government system is what does not discourage it at all.
Okay.
Does not encourage it. When I went and complained about this to the district collector there, he gave me a long explanation of various things.
I see.
I mean, he was a part of this system.
Oh,
I won't mention names.
understood.
He was part of it. He was, whatever powers he had, he was, I would even say, encouraging it. So it is a bad system, and such people are posted there
Okay.
who will not discourage it, who will not act against it.
Okay. So
They're
it's a
also
team.
scared.
So it's a team that is behind this problem.
It's a system there.
It's a system. Yeah. Okay.
So training, yeah, there is training, but the training is on killing people.
Exactly.
How
So
to
to make
integrate
them
people.
understand
Yeah,
what they're
training
doing is
happens.
wrong.
Unfortunately, the wrong sort of training.
I see.
Training in violence.
Oh God. There is
I'm being
yeah.
very open about it, but this is in which I experienced. In front of me, two people were drawn out of my car, and they were
Beaten up,
from
yeah.
my car. They were taken.
Beaten up.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely in front of me. It was very difficult to see.
It's better you stay speechless at that time, huh?
Absolutely.
Because they might turn it on you also.
Yeah, I turned away and burned the car. We would have all have died. I would not be sitting talking to you here.
Exactly. Terrible. All right, sir. Extensive experience in the IAS and IPS gives you unique insights into bureaucratic intricacies. What specific reforms would you prioritize to enhance efficiency and public trust in Kerala's administrative mechanisms?
I would believe that Kerala has a very good administrative system. It's one of the more efficient ones. It's one place where you can still be a whole lot autonomous. Things are changing, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah.
But within that context, I think what needs to be done is more and more to develop technologies. Technology is neutral. So with this technology, petty corruption comes down.
Yeah.
Where if there's technology in issuing a caste certificate, there's not much scope for somebody to make money out of it, the small monies. So the more, if there's a technology of registering, surveying land and registering it, that the huge amounts that are allegedly paid during surveys and things will immediately come down. If there's technology for checking out whether this piece of land was a paddy land, wet land, and whether it can be converted into dry land for building houses. The 50,000 or more petitions piled up in many sub-collectors' offices just for requests on conversion of their land into
Industrial areas.
it's not industry, for building a house.
Building a house.
Somebody
okay.
wants 10 cents of
I
land
see.
and it's classified as a paddy land, you can't build a house there.
I see.
So if technology comes, then these can be changed. So the more and more we introduce technology, the administrative systems become much more efficient.
Okay.
And I think that is one way forward. Training, building up personalities through training also helps.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of training required, not only at the level of the senior IAS and IPS officers, but at the lower levels, where they are much more scared. Even a transfer can upset their economies, family economy. So they are scared, and they therefore tend to play safe.
I see.
Especially when you have a system administration which will be brutal in transferring you if it doesn't toe the line. So training at that level is very important. And institutions have to be developed. Autonomous institutions have to be developed. Unfortunately, many of our autonomous institutions are being destroyed rather than being developed.
Yeah.
That's an important part of any democratic setup. Otherwise, the rule of law becomes the rule of man. I said it, so you do it. Not because the law says it.
Yeah, not looking into the reality of that situation
I like you, so
and facing it. Yeah,
I'll do anything. I don't like him.
yeah.
So
I
I
won't
will.
do.
The rule is different.
That is
from-
terribly visible in Kerala, I believe. Yeah,
Unfortunately, so,
you have a
especially-
hold, you know, that you will get out of it easily.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
You have this feeling that if you have the right links, then you can get away with murder.
Exactly. Yes.
You can get away with falsifying certificates. You can get an admission to a seat to an MCom in the same college where you did your BCom but ran away after 2 years and didn't even write an exam. You can get a job by falsifying your certificate and nothing will happen to you. You can surround a person's car, a mob 300 can surround, throw stones, destroy cause destruction to parts of the car, and nothing will happen.
Okay. Yeah.
That feeling that if you have the right links, the wrong links actually,
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
can get away
Yes.
with anything. Is
I know they take upper hand and do it
Absolutely.
bravely.
Yeah.
Kerala faces the delicate balancing act of fostering industrial growth while preserving its environmental heritage. As a former advisor on labor reforms, how would you approach this challenge, ensuring both economic prosperity and ecological sustainability?
there are so many industries these days which do not affect the environment and ecology.
Okay.
Our concept of an industry is you require 200 acres of land.
Yeah.
You require no. You can have an industry in Singapore, Hong Kong. You have industries that go vertically. You don't require acres of land to build
Exactly. Yes.
build a factory. It can be built stack upon stack. We don't think of that. Kerala is a land scarce country, land scarce state. So certainly, what we should be looking for is having industries which instead of being horizontally expansive, vertically expansive. So you don't require so much land for it. So the cost of industries will come down. Ecology, I think today there are so many industries where ecology is not part. All the software industries, artificial intelligence-based industries, all the modern high-tech industries do not very much affect the atmosphere. We don't require industries where we pump out tons and tons of carbon into the atmosphere. That can affect the environment. So there are so many of them available. And I think our success of Kerala's industrialization will depend on attracting such investors here.
I see.
Unfortunately, we've been very poor at attracting investors. We have this bad reputation of throwing out investors. Classic example, of course, is that of architects.
Yeah, exactly.
Sabu, he had to go all the way to Telangana to set up.
Yes,
He
that's terrible.
has invested some 3,000 crores there.
There's no government support for him
Right.
here.
I don't think our industrials require government support. They just require government getting out of them. They'll manage themselves.
Exactly.
They don't require government support. Forget it.
Yeah.
They don't require governments, unprovoked attacks on them, inspections on them. That is what is not required. There are so many industries here who have thrived because they've taken a stand. But to send people out of the state because he didn't act according to your bidding is, I think, ridiculous.
It's terrible. We are facing a bad situation, for the growth of our state itself.
And all our youngsters are leaving.
Exactly.
Complete villages in Idiki and Kottayam have no youngsters. Why are they leaving? Because there's no job here. Jobs are scarce. Salaries are scarce. Education is terrible. We are supposed to be extremely literate, but look at our higher education. It's a mess. There are 8 universities without vice chancellors. The quality of higher education is terrible. We have college engineering students who come out with engineering degrees, and not even 10-20% of them take to engineering. 5 years of waste. They do other jobs. They do management. They do so. The whole investment in higher education is become waste. We have to attract very good. We have to ensure that we have very good educational institutions here. Institutions of higher learning. We're unable to do that.
Let's see. Okay. So your time with the United Nations provided a global perspective on development and conflict resolution. How would you leverage this experience to champion Kerala's interests and perspectives on the international stage?
Unfortunately, politics is seen as conflicts between people.
Okay.
But politics is much beyond that. Politics is management of conflict, getting people together. Conflict is not confrontation. Politics is collaboration. I think with my long innings in the UN and diplomacy, where the UN always try to collaborate, the UN never confronts. The UN always collaborates.
I see.
And I suppose Kerala needs a bit of collaboration, not conflicts. So we have to develop a situation where everybody is the victor instead of trying to destroy the other.
Exactly.
It's very important to work with the other across political spectrums.
It's not a healthy atmosphere.
It's a confrontational thing.
Okay.
It is, I am better than yours.
Yes.
You're much worse than me. And that, unfortunately, ideologically,
brings down that person also.
Unfortunately, these days, even religiously, people are being divided instead of being brought together, which is sad.
Exactly.
I think we require people who can heal as politicians, not people who can, people who will be dictators or impose their will. We need healers at the top of our political systems.
Only then we'll have a developed nation properly.
Absolutely.
Yes. So violent politics remain a concern in parts of Kerala. Drawing from your diverse background in administrative services, diplomacy and literary advocacy, what solutions would you propose to address this issue and promote a culture of peace and civil discourse?
An ideology which believes that violence will lead to control, as opposed to Gandhian philosophy. Gandhi was completely against violence, and yet he was very influential.
He was a man of peace. Yeah.
He was a man of peace. So you can influence people through your ideas, your talk, your thinking. What is power? Power is basically the ability to influence people. You can exercise power through violence. I'll shoot you if you don't obey me.
Exactly.
That's influencing you to give up your purse or whatever. I can also influence you by saying where you give a part of your money to the local charity.
Yes.
So you can influence people in various ways.
Yes.
Trying to influence people through violence is inhuman.
Yeah, it's so negative.
It doesn't last long. It has to be curbed. Influencing people by showing them what is good for them, what is good for others. How
exactly.
If you develop the others, all of you get developed.
Very true.
That is the sort of politics that we should be looking at.
It's fantastic. In your book, you touch upon the emotional toll of your encounter with political violence. Has this experience shaped your approach to leadership and conflict resolution? If so, how?
I think the sight of violence has made me even more Gandhi. I mean, I'm not a Gandhian in the sense of the power of non-violence, the power of trying to get people to collaborate with you rather than confront them, trying to destroy them.
Yes.
You try to destroy others who destroy you.
Very true. You're holding that negativity in you.
Absolutely.
So,
Very true.
yeah.
To take the whole thing to a different plane. Mahatma Gandhi was able to convince a country like Britain, where the sun never set.
Very true, yeah. Enormous.
So if that can be done, and there was no bloodshed when he left, when the British left, very little. I mean, there was, of course, the creation of Pakistan, which was a sad thing. The division between Hindus and Muslims was a sad thing. But otherwise, there was nothing. Right? It was not India, Indians killing Britishers or Britishers killing Indians. And it was basically Indians killing Indians, which is very unfortunate. So the point is, he was able to bring independence to this country through a very non-violent method. And if that's possible, then develop it through non-violent methods is certainly possible. I'm not saying there's too much of violence everywhere in the world. Too much of
wars and things happening around.
Wars have always been there, but the thought of violence we have is also violence against individuals. Violence because I don't like your beard, I'll kill you. I don't like the way you're wearing your pant, I'll kill you. I don't like the way you pray, I'll kill you. I don't like the way you eat, I'll kill you.
Simple things.
Yeah. I mean, that is, I think, more brutal. War is brutal, but this is terribly brutal.
Yeah. So negative, in fact.
Really.
Yeah. Your career spans civil service, diplomacy, and now politics. Is there a funny anecdote or unexpected skill you acquire along the way that surprised even yourself?
Funny episode, I can't immediately think. There have been very learning episodes, for example. When I first went to Cambodia, they follow the practice of, it's basically an agriculture country, paddy growing. So they rise up at 5:36 and they start work at 7:30 in the fields. Then they have lunch exactly at 12 o'clock, siesta till 4, and then when the sun goes down again, they work and come back for the evening. So the offices follow the same pattern. So the government offices, UN, everything starts at 7:30. Now for me, 7:30 is a weird time too. I'm slowly waking up from my bed.
Understood, yeah.
I tried in the first couple of weeks, I used to get late to the office. Everybody would be there. And similarly, timings are very strict for them. If at 12 o'clock if you call somebody for a discussion, your juniors, your deputy, he'd be very upset because 12 o'clock is lunchtime. And lunch is a sacred thing. You can't delay lunch. So one day there was this program which the Minister of Labour and the Minister of Education was attending. They were the chief guest. I was also one of the. I was a chief guest as head of the ILO there, and I was invited to talk on the issue of children's rights or something. I don't remember what. And my deputy told me that the meeting will start at 7:30 in a 5-star hotel there. And he said, come at 7:20. And I've been in India all my life. I mean, not Australia. But here, I realized that 7:30, who's going to be there?
Yeah.
The kids will be waking up.
Yeah.
So I thought he must be joking. And not joking, it's not very serious. Here we say 7:30, 8:30. You reach at 8 and it starts.
We have
at
a natural way of getting late.
So we have a natural way of getting late, exactly. So I got up slowly as usual. And then since it was a program with the ministers were attending, I said, okay, I'll reach by 8 o'clock. So I reached at 8, I got down in the reception and my deputy was waiting for me. He was looking very anxious. I thought maybe I reached very early and he was wondering what to do with me. What to do with
That's
me.
amazing.
So he took me to the auditorium. It's a long, huge auditorium. And I under the end of it, and the stage is this side. I enter a backside. I open the door and I see about 600 children. They all wear white tops and either blue skirts or blue pant. Everybody's sitting. On the stage, there's the Minister for Education of the Center, Minister for Labour at this, and my name, MP Joseph, UN, ILO written, and an empty chair. Every one of those 500 students or 600 students and the Minister of Education and Minister of Labour, all of them waiting patiently for me.
God.
That was the most embarrassing.
I can see.
Never after that
see
did
it.
I go late for any
Yeah.
meeting in.
Okay.
So it is a funny incident, but it's also a sad incident.
Yeah, understood. The
And
context.
then having come back here now, somebody calls me at 8 o'clock or even 11 o'clock. I go at 11 o'clock and they say, "Sir, why are you here?"
Oh, yeah. That's
So
great.
it's a complete. I think we should be time
Be
time
punctual
conscious.
and
Yeah,
exactly.
very important for India.
We lag on that part, especially Indians. Like, I would like to tell you a story later.
You see how.
Okay. It's about a Japanese guy, his countryans used to always say that India is very punctual. India is not punctual. They are always delayed in a lot of things and all that. So, you know what, he wanted to experience this by himself personally. So he takes a trip to India. He comes and he sees a train is waiting for him. So he's amazed. He falls right on the TT's feet and says, "I'm sorry, my back home, my country, they think like Indians are always late. So, but I see it, my train is here itself." So the TT falls back on his leg and says, "I'm sorry, this train was supposed to reach yesterday."
24 hours a day.
24 hours late. So that's a scenario here. Okay, so imagine hosting a dinner party with 3 historical figures you admire. Who would they be, and what fascinating conversation topics would you tackle?
Historical figures. That's. I would love to meet Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh, seriously, yes.
I mean, he was a Mahatma. I would also love to meet Jawaharlal Nehru.
I believe that he has built a connect with all his countryans, right? That is still there in everyone, right? Fresh and green. Yeah.
If you ask me a third choice, and this is very partisan, I would like to meet Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Because, he was not from a religious point of view,
Yes,
but
yes, of
somebody
course.
as a human being who could say things like, "Let him who has not sinned cast the first stone."
Stone. Whoa,
Who said,
tremendous.
took out a coin and said, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto the church what God
Tremendous.
what is God." I think that's a learning for all of us.
Yes.
We don't pay our taxes,
Yeah.
and yet we believe we are good Christians or Hindus or Muslims. I'm not saying everybody does.
Yes.
So give to the
What is Caesar's?
Yeah,
Let
what-
Caesar have.
to the government, what is it?
Yeah, exactly.
so these
fantastic.
it's off the head, but these are the 3 people I certainly would. There were many others I might like to meet Churchill to see what makes him tick.
Okay.
I would like to meet Hitler to find out why he became
Why
so
he became
cruel.
so cruel? Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Nice logic
Yes, but my
explication.
3 choices are these. And Christ is a historical figure, not as a son of God, but as a human being.
It's a human being.
Who was born as a human being with all the frailties of human being.
Okay, very true. We'll all have stress busters beyond Kerala's beautiful beaches. What's your secret weapon for de-stressing after a long day of campaigning or policy debates?
One thing I used to do was to watch TV. You
Okay.
can stuff your mind.
What's your favorite channel?
The big channels. I'm a traveler.
Okay.
I was born on a Thursday, and they say Thursday's child is far to go.
Yes.
Monday's child is loving and giving. Tuesday's
Yes.
child is whatever. Thursday's child is far
Far to go. Okay.
So I like to see travelogues.
Okay.
I watch these shows where even cooks traveling to countries cooking. Rick Steins. I don't know whether you watch Rick Steins' Eastern Odyssey, Mexico. He's come to India. So those are the things I like to watch. Travel shows and so on. But these days I find this taking too much of my time, so I'm cutting down on that.
Okay.
And yes, so
Okay.
being with myself is also a stress buster.
Yes.
I'm happy to be with
Fantastic.
myself.
Yeah. That's true.
Be me and
Yeah. Be yourself.
Just do
and
nothing.
Enjoy. Yeah.
switch off.
Have that leisure time.
Absolutely, just switch off it.
Okay. If you weren't in politics, what would you be doing right now? Imagine MP Joseph as a rock star chef, as you mentioned now, a globe-trotting traveler blogger, and an award-winning novelist.
I don't think I'll ever be a chef
Okay.
because I grew up in this atmosphere in Kerala,
Okay.
where men or boys were not allowed to enter the kitchen.
Enter the kitchen,
It
not
was
a step.
yeah, it was, the kitchen was meant to be a women's prerogative.
Yes.
So I was not allowed. If I went to my grandmother when she was cooking, she said, "Why are you here?
Mhm.
You go out."
Yeah.
A kitchen was not supposed to be a man's
Yeah,
business.
man's
So I never learned to cook. I can hardly make a cup of tea for myself.
I see.
I'm completely dependent on others. So I never make a chef.
I see.
But I think I can eat. I love to eat.
Yeah. Okay. So
But I'll never make a chef because I don't think I can. But I'll make as you said, I'd
Novelist,
like
yeah.
a globetrot as a
yeah,
blogger. That'd
yeah.
be wonderful.
That'd be
do
nice.
it.
You can write about where
Yeah, I
your
can write.
whereabouts and all that.
And then what was the third one? Novelist.
Novelist, yeah.
I'd like to be a novelist. I want to do my magnum opus. The work that I have in mind is to write about how Kerala society was, say, from my grandmother's time, very conservative, ultra conservative, to the sort of liberalized thinking that's happening now. So that change and
There was a flow of doing things those days. Go back to those years. It was a natural way of doing things. But now people tend to think. They think too much and do. If I do that, is it okay? If I do this, it's okay. But so as you were saying, that flow of doing things, making yourself more like as if you have to do it in a very systematic way. And they enjoy what they do those days. But now it's entirely different. It has taken a toll on each and every one. They keep their thoughts active much more than work.
So I would like to capture that change that happened, say, from the 1900s till today.
Okay.
The change in Kerala society, from an ultra-conservative society, today it's become completely adrift in many ways. Maybe for the good, I don't know. But I'd like to capture the change in words and books as an author. That's what I would like to do. I don't know whether I'd have
Okay, that's fantastic. We surely want to hear more from you and read more about your novels, of course.
At the moment, I've just completed a book along with three others, batchmate of mine, on the Syrian Christians of Kerala, the Nasranis, it's called. It's a coffee table book with about 300 photographs.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's really over about the cuisine, about the culture, about the churches,
Okay.
about the history and so on.
Fantastic. So that's about to be released, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, hopefully by another 2-3 months.
3 months. Okay. If you were to write a political satire set in Kerala, what outlandish plot lines would it involve?
I would write a book called the Sovereign Independent Republic of whatever. Let's say Western Grand Bay.
Okay.
You see, I realized that when you for example, the apartment blocks,
Okay.
where you have 100 houses, 100 flats, 200 houses, they represent, they elect their chairman and their committee, and then the committee feels that they are a sovereign republic. They believe that they can rewrite the laws of the country there. They can decide who will do what.
Okay.
So to me, it is an outlandish. It's an outlandish, demagnified, or the opposite of demagnified version of a country or a republic. So each of them seem to think that they're sovereign.
Okay.
The laws of the land don't apply there. They'll decide what can be done, what cannot be done, who can be given gas, whose electricity can be cut off, whose car can be towed away.
So they'll have like the power to do
The
things.
power.
Yeah.
So how power sort of changes people, who were till the last election were criticizing the present people for doing exactly that, does exactly that plus when they get into power.
Okay.
So they think they're independent. They think they are sovereign. So the sovereign independent republic of whatever.
Yeah.
Western Grand Bay. I mean, things that are apartment blocks with fancy names.
Okay. So exactly,
It's outlandish.
outlandish. Yeah. Very true.
So
Yeah.
she is really
Yeah.
to my mind before she.
Yeah. Very true. So, if you could invent a superpower to make your political life easier, what would it be? Super persuasion, instant policy consensus, teleportation to avoid traffic jams? I believe it'll be the last one.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
I'd go with the first one.
Okay.
Super persuasion. Because if you have that power of super persuasion,
Mhm.
then you can build up super consensus.
Yes.
I can persuade people to come together.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I can also persuade people not to crowd streets.
Yeah.
So super persuasion is what I choose.
Yeah, that is the power. Yes.
If you are able to persuade people.
Mhm.
What was Mahatma Gandhi's
Yes.
basic
Yeah,
thing?
no
You can
action.
persuade
No action, only words.
words. And
right?
that word translates into action. Others do it.
Very true.
So he's able to persuade people. He's able to build consensus. I don't know whether he's been in a traffic jam, but
Yeah, those
so,
days, yeah.
super persuasion, certainly.
Okay, fantastic. So thank you so much, sir, for being with us. We come to an end of this session, and I wish you all the very best for your new novels that you're going to write about. And people, you should read every book that sir has written. It is fantastic. I'm going to take 2 copies of what sir has written already, and we're going to read through it. So wish you all the best, and thanks a ton, sir, for being with us. God
Thank you
bless.
so much, Elvis. I think it was a pleasure. You were able to probe my mind
Yeah.
and bring out things I'd never even thought about. I think that's what a good interviewer does, and you've done that. Elvis, you are a musician, I believe.
Yes,
I think you
indeed,
should
sir.
be a conductor or.
Yes, I do conduct, sir.
Can we end this by you singing 2 lines for us?
Oh, me?
Yes,
All right.
please.
Okay, so that'll be fantastic. Thank you. I'd like to give you a song which you like here, Wonderful Tonight. I believe Eric Clapton. Yes, sir? Okay. It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup and brushes her long blonde hair. And then she'll ask me, do I look alright? And I say yes, you look wonderful tonight. So I heard that you sing too.
I don't sing at all.
No, I heard
terrible.
you sing.
I'm a bathroom singer.
Probably in one of the channels, I guess. Maybe in an interview or something.
Yeah.
I heard you sing.
I
But
do.
you sing great, I
Oh,
heard
come
you sing.
on,
So
please.
could you please give us a few lines of the song that you did?
I don't sing at all. I sing
Okay,
in the
let's
bathroom.
try.
Let me try. And you are a singer, so
Okay.
I'll try, but don't laugh at me.
No, never. Let's
I laugh at myself. Let's see if it comes through.
Fine, sir.
It's a song I like very much, a Malayalam song. I think it's highly expressive. The song I'm going to sing. It's a message to somebody you really love, and it's a message that I'll wait for you.
Okay.
So that's what it is, and it's a Malayalam song, a film song, which. So it says, even though it might take time for me to come in, to be with you, I'll keep a few precious things within me to hand over to you, to give you when I need.
That is fantastic.
That's what it
lines,
means.
Yeah.
Let me try, and don't laugh.
Okay.
ഒരു സ്വപ്നം മാത്രമെൻ പൂങ്കുലയിൽ നിർത്താം ഞാൻ ഒടുവിൽ നീ എത്തുമ്പോൾ ചൂടിക്കുവാൻ ഒരു ഗാനം മാത്രമെൻ ഹൃദയത്തിൽ സൂക്ഷിക്കാം ഒടുവിൽ നീ എത്തുമ്പോൾ ചെവിയിൽ മൂളാം. That's all I know.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Thank you
It's
so
tremendous,
much.
sir.
And so, the curtain falls on a conversation that has ignited minds and stirred hearts. Sir, you have left us not just with answers, but with a renewed sense of hope and a burning desire to contribute to the collective good.